Chapter 5, the Line Continuity Lorebook, The Covenant of Primus, describes the beginning of recorded Cybertronian history. Before the Great Cataclysm forced everyone to hibernate underground, the people were not organized or educated. This is why Transformers Prime says that Predacons went extinct so long ago and little information exists about them. Now, although bots survived these times, the radiation caused a lot of memory loss. Stories about the Primes now did not seem so real. Legends arose, some true and some false. The only thing anyone was sure of was the well of all sparks, which kept producing life. The Primes remaining on Cybertron are not bothered that they have become a myth, and they even add to the legends about them and the relics. This is the Age of Origins as Cybertron begins development. The rocky and untamed lands are cleared and paved over with metal. People start grouping together properly. The universe gets questioned, as the fundamental questions are asked. Some bots are religious and think everything in the universe has a creator, but the first scientists take over and shape Cybertron. These scientists are called the Patterners. They are awake during all of or parts of the hibernation, discussing why things were the way they were. Azimuth had great interest in the sky and space, and was the first to propose that everything in the universe was accidental. She saw the universe as strictly mathematical. The other scientists were convinced, and when they emerged after the Cataclysm, Azimuth, with the help of Perceptor and Reflector, modeled Cybertron into a map of the stars. This is why Cybertron looks very circular and organized from afar, because it shows a map of the solar system and much more like calculations about the passage of time. It is all mathematical perfection that Cybertronian cities were built where they were. You won't hear this often, but Perceptor should be given credit for making Cybertron as beautiful as it is. The Patterners gathered with other scientific groups and together pushed Cybertron forward, making discoveries about medicine and technology. Everyone respected the Patterners, even criminal gangs, because they built orderly, pleasing things, and they were so smart and beyond them that people saw the scientists as holy figures. Icon becomes the city of higher education. Everyone with skills began gathering there to share them, and in a few centuries, there are great buildings, factories, and libraries. Icon is Cybertron's capital city now. Outside of Icon, Cybertron is rougher and dirtier. There are barbarians, and so peaceful communities struggle to survive. The Wreckers arise as a group who fight to protect innocent villagers from plunderers like the Vandals, the Breakers, and the Razors. Wheeljack and Bulkhead are part of the original Wreckers. In Icon, Alpha Trion founds the Hall of Records and Archives. Young Orion travels to Icon to learn how to read, and finally feels at peace because he no longer needs to worry about survival and danger. Alpha Trion, who knows that Orion is 13, secretly helps make him comfortable and preps him to work in the Hall of Records in the future, once he is used to civilization. Insecticons live wild, and the Well of Allspark makes more humanoid bots instead of animals anymore. Ratchet is forged at this time, and eventually makes a pilgrimage from his primitive village. He walks across half the planet to reach Icon and be educated in medicine, because remember, no one knows yet that they can transform. After this journey, Ratchet studies under the chief surgeon, Remedy. Ratchet was there just as the study of medicine was beginning, and so he sticks around and improves the science to what it is today. Some people actually make cults to worship the Patterners, while some just have little clubs. For a short time, a group called Random, led by Galvatron, refuses science and promotes the natural safety of the truly chaotic. Azimuth absolutely hated them. However, the group members all die except for Galvatron when they try to remodel themselves with radioactive elements to be truly chaotic. Galvatron gets radiation poisoning and tones it down afterward. Science prevails, and Icon thrives while other places are developing slowly but are still cutthroat. As all this happens, evil aliens watch Cybertron. Young Ratchet, a junior medic, is disgruntled when he hears a commotion in the hospital. A patient is brought to him saying that he was abducted by aliens and that they put something in his head. Ratchet calms him, then puts him to sleep to operate while calling for the senior doctor. He finds a little mechanical organism in this bot's head and shows it to Dr. Cogwheel, an Arachnicon character who is the polar opposite of sadistic arachnid. She realizes that this organism is alien and that Cybertron may face bigger problems in the future. But who can they warn when Cybertron is not united and has no leader? The Quintessons arrive one day, beautiful and small mechanical lifeforms and awe-inspiring ships. Alvatron does not realize until much later that they must be lifeforms created by Quintus Prime, although they are very evil unlike him. The Quintesson invasion was quiet, for they presented themselves as gods and deflected any missile attacks on them. They somehow knew about T-Cogs and they tell Cybertronians about them, but they make it seem that they bless the Cybertronians with the magical gift of transformation. This makes Alphatron really regret not telling Cybertronians that it is a natural organ. No matter what warnings he says about the Quintessons fooling them, no one listens and they worship the Quintessons. Each Cybertronian is paired with a Quintesson, installing cockpits or putting spaces inside them in order to carry around their masters with pleasure. We will learn in the next chapter that the Quintessons actually intend to enslave and sell them. However, the Quintessons actually fast-forwarded development on Cybertron. A joke exists: what have Quintessons ever done for us? After listing various ways, Quintessons unified Cybertron, giving them infrastructure, law, and incredible science. So after the first 5 chapters, here is a brief recap of Cybertronian eras. The Age of the Primes, which was considered mythical in Cybertronian culture, includes the creation of the Primes, their defeat of Unicron, and their war with each other. Chapters 1 to 3. The ages Cybertronians marked as historical fact up until the war was the Age of Evolution, the Age of Origins, the Age of Wrath, the Golden Age, and the Age of Rust. The Age of Evolution is a poorly recorded age where Cybertronians were first made, survived in the wilds, and feared carnivorous Predacons. The world suffered a natural disaster that marked the end of that age, and once it was safe to come back out, the Age of Origins began. It ends with the start of the Quintesson invasion, and the Age of Wrath will describe how Cybertronians fought to overthrow the technologically advanced aliens aiming to enslave them.